Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we're going to follow along on our series on how the Toads DI connects to your radio. Toads DI right out of the gate is a audio interface for your radio to your computer. We've got USB-C on one side here, and then we have pin headers on the other side here, so you can wire in whatever old-fashioned radio that doesn't have a sound card built into it. You can wire it in and get it all hooked up to your computer and do things like Winlink and packet radio and FT8 and even APRS. This works on all bands and all modes because this isn't the radio. That's up to you. That's where your magic comes in. In the previous video, we explained the PTT circuit, the push-to-talk circuit, all about that. I'll leave a link to that one up above. In case you're new here, what we're going to do is a very high-level discussion of how this works, and kind of hopefully it'll make some sense to you when we get to the other end of it. So this is the one where we're going to take the sounds that come out of your radio's speaker and shove them into your computer for decoding purposes with Direwolf or WSJTX software or Winlink Express or something along those lines. But we can't just plug it directly in to the computer because there's some other stuff that your radio does that your computer doesn't want to see, and we need to take care of that. Let's take a look at the schematic, and I'll go over what the schematic means and how it all works. You get into page 7 of the documentation, and you start getting into where the schematics are. The first one up here is the carrier on Squelch. We'll talk about that in a future video. We did the PTT version. I already talked about that one a little bit, and now we're going to do audio in from the radio. And you can see that we have our radio over here. This could be, in the case of the radio that I'm playing with, it's going to be a special pin on the microphone connector because it's a speaker mic, not just a microphone. It could also be the audio out jack on the back, or it could be the data connector jack on the back of your radio. And we'll talk about that in the next video. From the radio, we're going to go through this 4.7 microfarad capacitor. Capacitors do a couple of really neat things for us. They act kind of as a buffer. They store some capacity. They also have some capacitance. And in the case of our audio circuit, one of the things that's interesting is it will block DC voltage. Radios have a lot of different stuff coming out on their pins, and we want to block the DC voltage and we want to maintain the AC voltage. The AC voltage is that waveform that you're used to seeing of your speech patterns or the sounds that you hear from digital modes on the other side of the RF across the world. From there, we're going to go into a variable resistor. Let's think about this variable resistor as a volume control. And it's more of a set it and forget it, not something that you want to be changing very frequently. You'll change it once for the mode that you're working on and your radio, and then you're done. If you ever change radios or change computers, you might need to change it again then, but hopefully we'll just get you another Toads DI, and then you'll have two different radios that can do different data modes at the same time. We want this variable resistor also for a little teeny tiny bit of isolation from the computer and the radio to keep them separated from each other, but just to allow the volume to pass through. And then from there, we connect it up to pin 5 on the pin header on the Toads DI board. And then all the magic happens on the little chip inside and shoves it into your computer as actual computer audio that your computer can then process. And in order for the variable resistor to work all of its magic, the third leg of that resistor gets connected down to ground. So let's talk a little bit about why we chose the 4.7 microfarad capacitor. You can kind of choose any size capacitor you want, but this here really is kind of the sweet spot for audio frequencies. Anything higher and you're cutting off certain, high or low audio. Anything lower and you're cutting off certain high or low audio in the opposite direction. I'm not sure if high is high audio and low is low audio in terms of capacitor value, but you kind of get the idea there. It's going to pass all the important audio frequencies without any distortion, and that's really what we're after. And you got to start somewhere, right? So before we get over to the workbench and take a look real quick, your capacitor blocks DC and sort of filters the audio so that you just get the most important frequencies that you need and not a whole lot of distortion. The variable resistor is an audio control and a little bit of isolation from the computer and the radio. Your radio puts out certain levels of audio, your microphone on your computer, your audio, your line in on your computer wants certain levels of audio, and this is how we ride that balance and get those things fixed. You're still going to want to use your volume knob on your radio to not overdrive the variable resistor, and you're going to want to use your volume control on your computer to not clamp down too much on the incoming audio signal. So there's kind of a three-way tie going on here. And again, set it and forget it. Once you get it done once and working properly, it's all going to be fine. We'll save that for a future video, but it's nice to know that we have this ability to tune the circuit here as we're moving forward through the process, through the steps and the building blocks of putting this thing all together. All right, let's take a look at this circuit now that we've gone over it in the schematic and we've talked about it a little bit and what all the components mean. This is the circuit itself on a breadboard. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. And this guy here with the white top with the Phillips head screwdriver looking interface and the blue bottom, that is your variable resistor. And you just turn that with your screwdriver in order to turn your volume up or your volume down. You can see this yellow guy here. This is the capacitor that I had talked about. And then we have this yellow wire that goes to pin 5 on the Toad's digital interface here. And then out the other side, we have a white wire, and that white wire goes over to another connector. It goes out a little bit to a breakout connector. This has a tip ring sleeve connector on one side, and then it has those breakout connectors. And this happens to be what corresponds to the speaker output on the radio. On the back side of the radio, there is the speaker out jack, where you would normally put your speaker for in your car so you could hear a little bit better, but that is where we have connected this wire. So the radio plays some audio through here. It comes into our variable resistor, which resists against ground or against this capacitor, through to your pin 5 on the Toad's DI, and then into your computer via USB-C. And then this thing right here, if you guys haven't seen one of these before, I'm sure most of us have, this is called a breadboard, and it's used for prototyping these different kinds of circuits. We did the push-to-talk circuit first, then we are doing the audio in, then we'll do the audio out circuit, and that will take care of getting sounds from the radio to decode, pushing the push-to-talk button on the radio to be able to send audio out, and we'll talk about this audio out circuit over here. Once you get this stuff all prototyped up, you can go a little bit farther advanced and put these on what we call double-sided PCB kits, and these will allow you to solder the circuits in place so they're not floating and falling and coming apart. One of the problems that I had was this variable resistor here likes to come apart a little bit. There you go. And if you don't want to tinker with all of this stuff, we do have it all laid out for you here on a interface board that sandwiches on top, a set of header pins there, and then that is the variable resistor for your audio control, and then out here is a connector for your radio. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel to follow along for more information as we make it available. We've done the PTT circuit, we've done the audio in circuit in this video, we've got audio out, we've got carrier on Squelch coming up. If you would like some more information on the Toad's digital interface, I will leave a link for that in the description down below. And if tinkering around and playing with capacitors and variable resistors and transistors and all that stuff isn't your jam, we've got you covered. We've also got a daughter board that goes to the 6-pin interface that you will find on most radios, made by ICOM, Kenwood, or Yaesu, and a couple of others. And that'll handle all of the stuff that we just talked about in this video. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel for when the next few videos in this series explaining how to get audio from your radio into your computer for digital modes comes out. In the meantime, there's a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.